Can you see me? Can anybody out there see me? I feel like my screen is dark. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. Hang on real quick. Let me see what I can do here. Oh, that's a little bit. Can you see me now? A little bit. Is that a little bit better? Still a little dark. Let's try it. There we go. That's a little bit better. Bring up a little bit of light there. Sorry, that's kind of weird, right? Coming in to just like, you can hear my voice, but where am I? You can't really see. Well, that's because it's completely dark in here right now. And I just turned up a little bit of light and you can see me a little bit better there. And that's the point of today's Quest Leadership Live. I want to talk to you about the importance of clarity, shedding light on expectations, on roles, responsibilities, so that our students have a firm grip on what it is they're supposed to accomplish. We're going to talk about that right now here on Quest Leadership Live. Now, let's just be honest. Let's be honest. How awkward and weird would it be to watch an entire episode just like this, where I'm just like surrounded by darkness, can't really see, and all you can kind of see are glimpses of my face every now and then. But as I increase the lighting, things get a little bit clearer. Still, there's just hard to see anything else going on around me. But can you imagine watching it? How uninteresting would it be to watch an entire episode this way? Honestly, I mean, I know I'm kind of good looking, but I'm just kidding. No, we need light. We need light in our lives to operate. In fact, here's what I know is that no one takes action without clarity. We are always clear before we act. And you might say, well, I've experienced moments where I haven't been clear and I've had to go do stuff. Well, the truth is that we don't take action without first being clear, even if we don't have clarity from somebody that's leading us or over a project or a task. We create our own clarity and we go get stuff done. The question is, where does that clarity come from? And that's the question that we have to answer. Where does that clarity come from? So it's coming from somewhere. So as coaches, we have an opportunity to help our students get clear about their responsibilities, get clear about the expectations of the role that they play, get clear about their development. And that's what's going to help them to truly develop as young leaders. You know, I brought with me today a copy of our book. This is a comic book that we released called Dr. Dubio's Dark Cloud. And in this, you probably really can't see it that well. Well, let me see if I can help you here. I got another light. Yeah, let's probably help a little bit even more. So just going to shed a little bit more light here on the subject. Yeah, so here, Dr. Dubio's Dark Cloud. This is a comic book that we released, and this whole story is built around the idea that Dr. Dubio tries to keep the kids in the dark. He does not want them to know their full potential so that he can control them. And the truth is that until we have a light shined on who we are and on our potential, even expectations that we have within our roles, we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle with identity. A lot of kids struggle with identity today and purpose and significance. Why? Because they're not clear about what they're capable of. They're not clear about what's expected of them. They're not clear about who they actually are. So as coaches, we want to shine light, shed light on all those things so that they can reach their full potential. So you might not know it, but even behind me right now, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff here in this room. You just can't see it. And the reason you can't see it is because there's no light has been shined on it at this point, only a little bit just here, right here on my face. But there's a whole space in here. There's a whole world around us that we never see until the light is shined on that world. And the same thing is true for our students. Until we as coaches help to shine a light on their potential, shine a light on their areas of growth, shine a light on areas in which they need to improve. Maybe we would call it a weakness. We want to turn it into a strength. We have to shine a light on those things and then shine a light on the process. What does it take to grow? What's it take to develop? And the clearer we can be with our students, the more they're going to be able to accomplish and the more of their potential they'll be able to experience. So let me give an example here. I'm going to turn some lights on real quick. There we go. Isn't that a little bit better? Yeah. Now we have a little light on this subject and we can see more of what's around us and how cool this space is. And it opens up all kinds of possibilities. In fact, I want to go ahead and walk up into the light here to finish out this episode. Just to talk about how important clarity is, not only for us as leaders, but for the students that we lead. Man, I got to tell you, the clearer that they are about who they are, what they're capable of, what you expect of them, the better they're going to perform. The more likely they're going to be to hit their mark. Now, I want you to imagine being in a race. Imagine lining up to race somebody. So you get up to a line, you're about to run as fast as you can, try to win this race, and you say, "How far are we going? How far are we going to race? Run." And their response is, "I don't know. Let's just run and see who wins." Can you imagine trying to put effort? How excited would you be to try to win that race? I mean, it would take all the wind out of yourselves. Why? Simply because we're not clear about the goal, clear about the finish line. What does it look like when we reach that point, right? That clarity is what allows us to heighten and get our peak performance. And so as coaches, we have to be very clear about finish lines. This is what it looks like for you to do this job. When you do this job, this is how you will know you've succeeded. When you've done it properly, this is what it will look like. And it gives our students a sense of measure against which they then can perform, make adjustments, and develop. We do this all the time in education. It's called a grade card. We look at a grade card and we look at our grades and we measure how well we're doing. But the second piece to this in clarity is equally as important to the goal. Now, getting a grade on your grade card is one thing. If you get a C or a B or an A or a D or an F, it's one thing. You can kind of go, all right, well, at least I know how I did. But it doesn't answer the question, how do I grow? And that's the second piece to this for us as coaches that we also have to be willing to shed some light on. Not just what do we expect of you, but how can you improve and develop yourself to get to that expectation? So as our students perform and they engage and they do jobs and they take on responsibilities, number one, we got to be clear about what those roles are. How will you know you've succeeded? What are we expecting of you? When will you have it done, and by when and how, or what will it look like? And being very clear, shedding light on those things. This is what your potential is. This is what we think you're capable of. This seems to be an area of talent and gift for you. We want to develop that. So it's one thing to define that, but then there's also the process of coaching, which I believe is the intricacy work of the day in, day out, week in, week out process of mentoring young students. And that is to help them see areas of development so they can reach those goals. If you go back to the race analogy and you finally define it's a 100-yard dash, we're going to run 100 yards. So you run that race and you lose. What do? We evaluate. What can I do better to improve my speed? What can I do to put myself in a position to succeed, to win? I may look at how I start, how I'm lining up at the blocks. I may look at my form in the run. I may look at how I'm finishing. Am I finishing strong? Am I leaning into the finish line? All kinds of things that can be evaluated that lead to a different outcome. But we must have clarity on all those steps as well. What does that look like? How can we help a student improve in their self-confidence? How can we help them improve in their level of excellence, self-expectation, how they're interacting and treating other students on the team? So these two main areas of clarity is what I want to encourage you with today. Ask yourself this question: am I being clear with my students about their roles and responsibilities, about the outcomes that we expect? And am I being clear, or am I clear about what they need to do to grow in those areas? Taking the time to sit down and get clear about those two things. And I would encourage grabbing a pen and a piece of paper and sitting down, writing it out, or your iPad, whatever, and creating a chart, a way that you can measure progress. Here's what I expect in these jobs. And here's what I know every student is going to need to grow and improve. Clarity. Shine some light on it so that you can enjoy the fullness. Enjoy, man, look at all that's cool and available here, but you never would have known it without the light. And that light in coaching is clarity. Clear about the goals, clear about the expectations, clear about the key points of personal development and progress to reach those goals. I hope that's been helpful for you today. I would love to hear, how do you go about this? Send us a comment in the comment section of this video. Let us know, how do you go about helping to coach students, helping to be clear about their expectations and about how they can develop? What do you do? What's worked for you? We would love to know that, but I want to encourage you to make this a point of emphasis in your coaching. And if you'll do that, you are going to be building strong young leaders. So till next time, I'm Tom Toney. I'll see you next week on Quest Leadership Live.